morning, one and all present here, respected dignitaries, my colleagues, and my dear students. I, Priyanka Singh, welcome you all in this first technical session offline of 36th National Conference on National Education Policy, Human Values and Media Organization, which is organized by Department of Journalism and Mass Communication. So, by Technia Institute of Advanced Studies, which is NAC accredited Grade A Institute. Now, it's my pleasure to invite Dr. Sheel Nidhi Tripathi, ma'am, Assistant Professor Technia, to chair the first technical offline session. I would like to request Dr. Keshav Patel to welcome and Dr. Sheel Nidhi Tripathi to felicitate. Sir, ma'am, please, I welcome you. Now, I would like to request Dr. Sheel Nidhi Tripathi, ma'am, to follow and proceed to start this conference. Welcome, ma'am.
Good morning, all of you. Good morning, respected Dean Sir, Dr. M.N. Jha, my dear colleagues and my dear students. So we all have gathered here to expand our knowledge on national education policy. It was a long thinking process. We wanted to equip our students with the knowledge of NEP to understand the intricacies of NEP, National Education Policy, and therefore we thought to organize this national level conference where the researchers have really literally done a lot of research to make us understand in an easier way what are the benefits of NEP, how can we get wisdom from it, and what are the different aspects through which, through different kinds of research, they have tried to come up, and we would be getting a lot of information on this topic. So without taking much of your time, I would like to start with the presentations. So yeah, can I have the students volunteer for the list? And accordingly, we can proceed. So who's the first presenter? Riya and Vanshika.
Thank you, Sheel ma'am. So our first presenter is Ms. Ritika Chaudhary, Assistant Professor, TIAS, Delhi.
Good morning, each and everyone. I, Ritika Chaudhary, Assistant Professor from Technia Institute of Advanced Studies, presenting my research paper titled Integrating Human Values in the Area of Digitalization, a conceptual discussion on the role of social media during COVID-19 pandemic. We all have heard a quote titled Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, Sarve Santu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pasyantu, Ma Kasyatuk Bhagavad. This can be considered as the horcrux of human values. We all have heard about it, we all have taught about it. So firstly, to get familiar with the terminologies, I would start with the human values. Human values are the virtues that lead us in considering the human factor when interacting with other people. Respect, acceptance, attention, admiration, listening, openness, affection, help, empathy, and love. These are the examples of human values which can be. It is with those human values that are may truly put one's ethical ideas such as justice, integrity, refusal of violence, and the prohibition of killing into practice, even in a crisis scenario. To get familiar with the second terminology, which is digitalization. Digitalization is the use of digital technology and digitized data to enable or improve process. Digitalization boosts efficiency and output while lowering expenses. Digitalization enhances rather than transform an existing business process or processes. That is, it converts a process from a human-driven event or a series of events to a software-driven event or series of events. It is referred to the adoption of digital technologies to perform most of the tasks in our everyday life. Let us move towards the introduction. On a worldwide scale, social media can help people obtain information, share ideas, and connect with others who are dealing with similar issues. It can also be useful venue for quickly relaying information amid a national or global catastrophe. Because of its global reach, social media has become a vital communication medium or a tool during the COVID-19 pandemic, which we all have evidence. Social media became more than a place to upload the newest vacation photographs, as government health institutions utilized it to transmit recent findings on prevention and treatment related to COVID-19. It became a hub of pandemic-related information and as a powerful tool to help each other in the situation of crisis. Talking about the objectives of my studies, the first objective is to identify the dissemination of human values through digital media, to understand the role of social media in integration of human values during COVID-19 pandemic, and to discuss the state of human values in the era of digitalization. The methodology which I opted for the study is, this is a secondary database study which contains qualitative data and which is a type of qualitative study, and the sampling and data collection was based on simple random technique which contains some human related values terminologies or terms. Based on some terms or based on some keywords, I found out some keywords related to human values to assess the social media updates. Data for the data analysis, assessment of social media updates through content analysis. These are the findings and analysis. Firstly, I would like you to go through this image, which I took from the web page of World Health Organization, which presents that how people use the social media to share information related to COVID-19 pandemic, in which there were people most likely to share information related to scientific content. There were 43.9% of people presenting information related to scientific content, 36.7% of people sharing information relevant to themselves, and 28.5% of people sharing information related to concerning. 28.3% people like to share content related to articles, 24.1% people share videos related to COVID-19 pandemic, and 23% of people shared content related to images related to COVID-19 pandemic. So we can see and we can assess that social media was a great tool to use information to communicate with the people during the during the period of COVID-19 pandemic. These are the posts related to which we can consider in the terms of human values, which people use during that time to help people to contribute in such a situation of crisis, to help people to create a support system through social media. These are the examples of such posts where people share meals, shared information related to oxygen availability, related to medical treatment or medical facilities availability. There were also posts related to mental health check-in posts, just to check on the people about their mental health status related to in the duration of this such a crisis. To discuss on this topic, I would finally like to discuss after assessing these posts, I could come to a discussion that the dissemination of misinformation added by because social media is a tool which is providing a liberty to post or share anything. So there was also a situation where people shared misinformation too. But even in that situation, people handled such a situation and shared information related to help or support people too. The dissemination of misinformation added by social media and other digital platforms has proven to be a greater threat to global public health and than the virus itself. As the COVID-19 pandemic has shown, people can stay safe, informed and connected thanks to technological improvements and the social media. COVID-19 is a pandemic that has struck the entire planet unexpectedly. When the sickness was originally discovered in the late 2019, only one country was thought to be affected. Later, it was found out that many countries all over the world it was infected or concerned related to this pandemic and the crisis. The sickness quickly spread over the globe, and the second wave of COVID-19 is terrorizing the universe. Now I finally like to conclude my presentation or my study with these words. There is no such thing as an ideal platform. While there was a lot of disinformation and misinformation and terror on social media, there was also a lot of vital information, connection and worldwide togetherness. We were able to share our experiences with family and friends on social media, which helped us in overcome both physical and emotional isolation, while also reminding us that we are all together in this such a situation or such a crisis. COVID-19 was the world's first global pandemic in this digital age. Governments and corporations used social media to help people understand what was going on and how it affected them. Individuals, groups and businesses used social media during COVID-19 pandemic to raise awareness about the virus and the public measures that can be performed. Many of us never heard the term related social distance as a means of preventing infection until COVID-19. COVID-19 put many people in difficult situation, particularly the elderly, those who with disabilities, working parents who lost daycare, and those who lost their employment. It was visible that during the pandemic, communities came together to help organizations and individuals by using social media to share fundraisers with a wide audience. People also utilized social media to provide assistance in whatever manner they could, such as picking up groceries for people who couldn't leave their homes and providing information on how to help struggling local businesses. Thus, it can be concluded that in the era of digitalization, social media stood out to integrate the human values, which was quite evident in the period of COVID-19 pandemic. Any questions?
Just wanted to know, as you talked about social media as a whole, when you were doing your research, any special concentration or focus or any special platform of social media which people used more when the pandemic was going on, or it was given an equal chance to all the social platforms?
I tried to look over all the platforms, but the mostly content was available on the Twitter, which was most frequently used by all the, because there were celebrities, there were organizations, there were a lot of organizations which were helping through the Twitter accounts, and there were hashtags going on through COVID-19 pandemic. They used some hashtags to get awareness and get people know about such a situation and such a campaign going through the social media. So the major focus was on Twitter, but all the social media platforms contributed in some or other manner in this COVID-19 pandemic or crisis.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Our next presenter is Ms. Preeti Nagar, research scholar from Noida International School.
A very good morning to all. I'm Preeti Nagar, a research scholar at Noida International University. And my topic is the role of women journalists in pre-independence era. See, we all have known, India is known one of the world's largest democracies, and its independence from British domination took about 200 years. But no one knows कि initially pre-independence era में women journalists का क्या role रहा था, और I'm gonna present two of those women journalists. First women journalists जिन्होंने प्री इंडिपेंडेंस एरा में बहुत वर्क किया था. सो होमियो व्यारवाला एंड विद्या मुंशी इज़ माई रिसर्च टॉपिक. एंड ड्यूरिंग इंडियाज़ वॉर फॉर इंडिपेंडेंस, Vyarwala became regarded as one of the most important news photographers, and among her eminent pictures are those Nehru's inauguration as Prime Minister, the first flag hosting at the Red Fort, and Mahatma Gandhi's funeral, the first Republic Day parade on 26 January 1950 in Delhi, the Dalai Lama's first visit to India via Sikkim in 1956. So these are few eminent pictures of Homi Vyarwala before pre-independence era and after independence and during independence as well. Nehru ji's pictures with his sister and with kids. As we all know, Nehru ji is like children. And in इंडिपेंडेंस थ्रू अ वुमेंस लेंस अगर आप देखेंगे तो ये सारी पिक्चर्स वी गॉट विद द हेल्प ऑफ ओनली होमिया व्यारवालास. ओके, विद कितना स्ट्रगल करके उन्होंने ये सब लिया है वो किसी को आइडिया नहीं हुआ है, क्योंकि अभी सब डिजिटल मीडिया की बात कर रहे हैं. तो डिजिटल मीडिया में इट इज़ इंस्टेंट बट इट इज़ ईजियर एज वेल. वहाँ इंस्टेंट नहीं था लेकिन ईजी नहीं था. ओके, सो इट्स हार्ड टू ग्रैब दीज पिक्चर्स. ओके, दिस इज अ सेक्शन ऑफ क्राउड जो दिल्ली रेड फोर्ट पर गैदर हुआ था ऑन 16th of August 1947, a day after our independence. And this is also one of photograph of Homia Vyarwala. Next is Jawaharlal Nehru is pointing out the same crowd जो आपने लास्ट पिक्चर में देखा था. एंड नेहरूज कैबिनेट मेंबर्स हैं ये सारे. फर्स्ट आपका लाइक दिल्ली 1948 में ही ये हुआ था कंडक्ट आपका तब का है. ओके, दिस इज महात्मा गांधी एंड इंडिपेंडेंस लीडर अब्दुल गफार खान व्हेन दे आर अराइविंग फॉर अ मीटिंग वेयर इट वाज डिसाइडेड टू पार्टीशन ऑफ द कंट्री. ओके, This is Congress delegates voted for partition on June 2, 1947. Muhammad Ali Jinnah at his last press conference before leaving for Pakistan, August 1947. Gandhi addressing Congress committee delegates in 1947, and this one is Gandhi's funeral. Indira Gandhi with Rajiv and Sanjay Gandhi at the first Asian Games at the National Stadium in Delhi, 1951. Okay, women journalists cover war. See, I have done this research on this topic only because during my schooling, during my college, मैंने कभी जब भी इंडिपेंडेंस की बात हुई है तो कभी भी वुमेन जर्नलिस्ट का मैंने ज़्यादा नहीं सुना है. लीडर्स की बात हुई है, जर्नलिस्ट की बात हुई है, वुमेन जर्नलिस्ट का कभी भी नहीं हुआ है. एंड टू बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट, व्हेन आई वाज वर्किंग ऑन दिस पेपर, फॉर द वेरी फर्स्ट टाइम आई केम टू नो अबाउट होमाय व्यारवाला एंड विद्या मुंशी. सो ये मेरे लिए भी इट्स अ लर्निंग पीरियड. दैट्स व्हाई आई एम डूइंग दिस. ऑलराइट. Homeo Vyarwala, India's first female press photographer, captured the key moments of India's independence with her camera. Homeo captured some of the most iconic images to India's transition into an independent nation. अभी आपने जितनी भी पिक्चर्स देखी हैं, those were from pre-independence to independence तक का आपका जर्नी था जो होमाय व्यारवाला ने कवर किया है. इनिशियली उसको भी नहीं पता था, उनको भी, कि मैं कितनी बड़ी आइकॉनिक चीज़ को कवर कर रही हूँ. लेटर जब वो इंडिया की इतनी बेस्ट फोटोग्राफिक जो हमारे पास, अगर होमाय व्यारवाला ने वो स्टेप नहीं लिया होता बीइंग अ वुमेन इन दैट टाइम पीरियड, तो आई थिंक हम ओरिजिनल गांधी को नहीं देख पाते, ओरिजिनल नेहरू जी को नहीं देख पाते. ऑलराइट. सो आपने जो सच उनके कुछ मूवमेंट्स हैं जो उन्होंने फोटोग्राफ्स लिए. दीज आर इंडियाज़ फर्स्ट रिपब्लिक डे परेड, द फर्स्ट फ्लैग होस्टिंग ऑन 15th August 1947 एंड द फ्यूनरल ऑफ महात्मा गांधी. Second one is Vidya Munshi. Vidya Munshi, on the other hand, took a fight straight to lawyer's liar. Women are, उनका ये कहना था कि women are not having a lot of room to say. उस टाइम बिल्कुल भी नहीं था, आज भी प्रॉब्लम है, लेकिन अभी there is a huge change. Okay, so she insist कि अगर आप नहीं बोलोगे अपने लिए and you are waiting for the men to change the things, तो कभी नहीं होगा. You have to take a stand for yourself only. Her 5'7" size made her popular figure in major protests against dowry, rape and women's freedom to work. She was equally at ease in heated discussions over India's new feminism which arose in the 1980s. Motivation क्या है इसमें? Women जिन्होंने इतना हार्श क्रिटिसिज्म फेस किया है, और दैट टू विद द जेंडर डिस्पैरिटीज फ्रॉम देयर पीयर्स एंड जनरल पब्लिक, ये चीज़ आपको आज मिलेगी बट उस लेवल पर नहीं होगी. एंड हर एग्जिस्टेंस इन अ मेल डोमिनेटेड प्रोफेशन वॉज मोर रिमार्केबल एज शी वॉज द ओनली इंडियाज प्रोफेशनल फीमेल फोटो जर्नलिस्ट एट दैट टाइम. दिस इज क्रूशियल बिकॉज मोस्ट वुमेन आर स्टिल एक्सक्लूडेड फ्रॉम द प्रोफेशन. India's first female press photographer, Homeo Vyarwala, documented the British Empire's final days. Her work also depicts the creation and development of a new country. And because no one took her seriously, she was simply ignored, permitted to come and go as she wanted. तो easy हो गया था उनके लिए images लेना. And her images right now receive country-wide popularity. Journalism's place in society. Journalism is the sharing of information about daily events. ये सबको पता है, आप लोग already journalism students हैं. This is very basic. But यहाँ पर होमियो व्यारवाला एंड विद्या मुंशी का क्या रोल था, इसके बारे में बात करेंगे. Today, media also provides information in a process that blends pleasure and education. This is also known as infotainment, जिसमें आज हम सब जी रहे हैं डिजिटल मीडिया आने के बाद स्पेशली. तो स्ट्रगल जो उन्होंने फेस किया है, नो ऑथराइजेशन फॉर वर्क ड्यूरिंग दैट टाइम, उनके पास कोई डेजिग्नेशन नहीं था. टुडे वी ऑल वर्क फॉर द डेजिग्नेशन. सबसे पहले आता है विच ऑर्गेनाइजेशन यू आर वर्किंग फॉर, इन ऑन व्हाट डेजिग्नेशन यू आर. उस टाइम कोई डेजिग्नेशन नहीं था. इनिशियली होमिया व्यारवाला का जो इनिशियल पेपर्स जो पब्लिश होते थे, दोज वर ऑन हर हस्बैंड्स नेम. लेटर उन्होंने जब पब्लिश होना स्टार्ट हुआ, डालडा 13 करके उनका अपना पब्लिशिंग जब स्टार्ट हुआ, तो डालडा 13 के नाम से उन्होंने स्टार्टअप दिया था. तो इनिशियली कुछ सालों तक उनके हस्बैंड के नाम से उनके पेपर पब्लिश हो रहे थे. तो दैट टू हेड्स ऑफ है कि वो ऐसे भी काम करते थे बिना डिजिग्नेशन के, बिना ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के. एंड मुंशी वॉज आस्क्ड टू बिकम द एडिटर ऑफ बंगाली पब्लिकेशन द चलर पठे. Even though she didn't speak Bengali fluently, she needed to examine it quickly and thoroughly. So these are the challenges which they were faced. Women were not supposed to carry handbags in those days because of sari. So they were not allowed to have any pockets. So she had to, this is about Homai Vyarwala, who was a photographer, first photographer. So difficulties होती थी उन्हें अपने technical craft को pick करने में, carry करने में और आपके batteries and all. तो ये jackets जो आज आपके पास में आपको मिलता है as a camera person वो सब नहीं था उस time. All right. So Vidya Munshi at the age of 89, hurt by anything, including a cerebral stroke in 2002 that left her paralyzed on the right of her body. Still she continued to work upon these issues. Both the women had worked hard during difficult conditions. And the conclusion is Vyarwala's जो work था on the other hand वो notable था not because of her gender only, but also because she became a recorder of a politically heated movement without realizing how crucial her photos would become. Men will not take a responsibility and prioritize women's issues, but believe me when I say that if women do not take responsibility and prioritize women's issues, men will not. We still be waiting for things to change if we relied on them. These are the words of Vidya Munshi. It is all the more crucial in these times to recognize icons of resistance like Vidya Munshi. They have given valuable work to the country. Both of them have created a remarkable history with their roles. Female photojournalists are still the exception rather than the rule in newsrooms even 50 years later. And these are few references. See, I'm still working on this paper. The future is आगे later मैं ये देखना चाहती हूँ कि since independence until now 2022 after the I would say digital era आने के बाद में कितना women journalist को कितना respect मिल रहा है, कितना space मिला है इस media industry में, along with the positions and organizational names and all, everything. So thank you all for your patience.
Thank you, ma'am, for the exceptionally wonderful paper. To confess honestly, I too was not aware about Vidya Munshi. Although the first journalist Vyarwala, I heard
Later
about.
she became Vidya. Initially she was Vidya Kanunga. After she was getting married with her husband, then she became Vidya Munshi. So आपकी पहचान ही आपकी नहीं होती थी. Still they were working for the like India's independence struggle movement में वो उनका हिस्सा रही हैं और till the age their death वो तब तक करती रही हैं. ऐसा नहीं है कि उनका कोई वो है कि रिटायरमेंट हो गया है या रिटायरमेंट पीरियड का they are waiting. बस उन्हें काम करना है and they are enjoying their work actually. Freely their work for the independence movement. So this was the only thing and I'm still working on it.
No, it was a wonderful paper. Thank you for adding to our information. Just one question. How difficult it was for you to collect the data and how much content analysis you did and from where?
To be very honest, initially जब मैंने start किया था, I didn't even know कि ऐसा first कोई female journalist भी exist करती हैं. At that time period जब women's को किसी भी चीज़ की permission नहीं होती थी एंड मैंने इनिशियल लेवल पर मैंने इंटरनेट से शुरू की अपनी रिसर्च और इंटरनेट पर ही ख़त्म हुई है. बुक्स भी इंटरनेट से ही मैंने निकाली हैं. सो इट वाज इनिशियली मुझे प्रॉब्लम लगा कि है ही नहीं, कोई एग्जिस्ट ही नहीं करता है. जब मिल गई मुझे देन इट बिकम ईजियर. मुझे इंटरेस्ट आना स्टार्ट हो गया कि नहीं, दिस इज समथिंग विच आई wanted to work upon.
Carry on. Very good. Wonderful
Thank you.
research. Thank you so much.
Hello ma'am, my name is Radhika and literally I like your presentation. As per the pictures you presented, they were very nice and I thought that you might have researched a lot, then only you would have been able to resource them. So ma'am, my question to you is, when you talked about print publication and the female Homai Vyarwala, so ma'am, what challenges she would have faced during the print, she would have printed those newspapers and there was not so much technology, so what challenges you read about? Or
if I talk about Homai Vyarwala is basically from Gujarat and December 9, 1913 she was born and she shifted because of her father's transferable job. She shifted to Mumbai for her college and then वहाँ पर उन्होंने pictures का as in आप कहोगे hobby करके ही start किया था picture लेना. अपने batchmates की pictures लेती थी and then वहीं पर she met her husband
वुड बी हस्बैंड, आई एम सॉरी। एंड देन वो ऑलरेडी प्रेस उन्होंने ज्वाइन किया था, एंड देन आई हैव ऑलरेडी टोल्ड यू ना कि उनका इनिशियल पब्लिकेशन जो होता था वो उनके हस्बैंड के नाम पर होता था। देन लेटर उन्होंने अपना स्टार्टअप किया डालडा 13 के नाम से। बाय द वे 13 इज़ हर फेवरेट कहूँ या लकी नंबर कहूँ। एक्चुअली पीपीटी था तो आपको यू हैव शॉर्टेज ऑफ टाइम, सो बहुत सारी चीज़ें इसमें मैंने कट शॉर्ट की हैं। आई हैव मैनी मोर थिंग्स टू एक्सप्लोर नाउ। गूगल पर ऑन हर 113th बर्थडे होम्यो व्यावाला को का पिक्चर भी लगाया था। यू कैन गूगल इट अभी राइट नाउ। तो बहुत सारी पिक्चर्स जो होम्यो व्यावाला ने क्लिक की थी वो भी इसमें मिसिंग है अभी ड्यू टू शॉर्टेज ऑफ टाइम। थैंक यू।